Welcome everybody to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. I hope you're doing well. This is a really powerful day because you chose a great topic. We're going to be looking at the crown chakra, and probably as a result of that, this morning as I woke up, I just had a lot of dreams coming through, and also transformational energy. So one of the predominant forces that came through was like the angel of death, which is all about transformation movement and getting us unstuck. So I'm here for all of that. My name, like I said, is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to be looking at channel messages first, and then we'll get into the multiple parts of this forecast. It's for everybody that's present, by the way. So if you're just clicking through YouTube and you found this, stick around. We've got a lot to talk about. I like to start off first with messages from dreams for the collective. One of the first things that came through, besides we'll talk about transformation in just a moment, was accountability. And what I was seeing in dreams in particular were people that were getting caught in half-truths, or it wasn't like an out-and-out lie. It was just sort of like not really getting to the point or hedging around something, which sometimes can constitute, not being truly truthful or accountable. And so Spirit was showing me it all ends up coming out anyway. So it's better to just be really truthful, really honest, and clear from the beginning. And save the receipts. That's also what Spirit showed me. This is if other people are trying to kind of be tricky. We're still in Mercury retrograde. So miscommunications, stretched truths, contractual details, they can all kind of come out. And it's really important, if there's something that you need to make sure that it happens, that there is an email chain, a text chain, something besides a handshake or like a oral conversation. There has to be something more. So definitely get things in writing, get the signatures. That will help you in the long run. And the paper trail is exactly what I wrote as I woke up. So I think the most important thing from all of this is to also lead with integrity and honesty, because in and of itself, that usually is going to be something that attracts people that do the same. Okay. So for the other thing, I, in dreams, saw the archetypal sort of symbol for death, which is the skeletal figure. And I didn't get anything bad connected to it. Actually, what I saw was actually two tarot cards. One is the Ace of Wands, and the other one is the Knight of Swords. So the Ace of Wands is showing me something, like one thing is about to come to pass. And it isn't necessarily always about death. Death is a two-way door. So for those of you that have just been getting out of something, maybe you lost a job, maybe you got out of a relationship, maybe it's just been a rough period. It could even be like a health period. Now I see something on the other side. And the Knight of Swords is fast moving. So this next period of growth should be quicker than the period of loss, struggle, or difficulty, which is good. And I'm not really ever afraid when I see that symbol. It's just showing me finally things are changing, because that is what death represents in the world. When we look at like fall and winter, things come to pass, a season of rest, and then renewal. Nothing lasts forever. And so when we start to embrace what might be coming next, it gets exciting. Opportunity, growth, and breakthroughs. And that is a very nice kind of connection to stepping into your power, which is part of this crown chakra reading that we'll be doing in the second half of this. So in order to create growth, release is necessary. So when I do the main reading, I want to see if there's anything that is kind of like stuck, or if you're stuck in any places, because I feel like that's one of the big opportunities today when it comes to breaking through. Okay, so let's get ready for a 7-day forecast. This is going to help us get tactical and practical. And I forgot to test the setup of this, so let me do that right now. Make sure everything looks good. All right, hopefully this camera's working. If not, I might need to unplug it and plug it in. All right, the guides are working with us today. All right, so take a moment, if you will, and I'd like you to just breathe. Let go of anything that you might be holding on to. Any fears, anxieties, or doubts. There we go, that's a little bit better. And in this moment in time, just imagine, if you will, that you are in a field of clover, because we're looking at creating some positive movement, positive traction. And in this field of clover, imagine that the sun is shining overhead, and we'll welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. All right, let's get started with the energy for today, which looks pretty good. For today, we have the Two of Cups coming through: partnership, friendship, love, the ability to work better with others. So basically, teamwork is going to accelerate your goals, your dreams, your projects. And if you're looking at a great day to connect with someone that you love, this is also a day to do just that. With the Two of Cups, one thing here is also focusing on the understanding that you are worthy. This is a card of receptivity. All of Cups basically represent like vessels or receiving energy. But with the Two of Cups, it's like, I'm worthy of good friends, great opportunities, amazing partnerships. Actually, you could just put amazing on all of those. I was just trying to change up the words, but like the best of the best, the cream of the crop. And really focus on knowing that that is something that you've been working on, and just say, I'm ready, willing, and capable of receiving all of that. Let me see if there's anything else here. This can also be great if you need help with something, and it's so hard sometimes to ask for help or to receive help, but if somebody wants to give it, why not? This actually looks like a very positive partnership, okay? So lean into the connection with others. You don't have to do it all on your own. And if you're bored, if you're stressed, if you just need to clear your mind, it's a great day to even just talk on the phone to someone else as well, okay? So great energy for Sunday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the beginning of the work week. And stress management is going to become very important on Monday. We have Nine of Swords energy coming through. You always have a choice to kind of like continue to focus on what's broken, or to accept and take on stress, or to shift the focus and say, I think I'm going to focus on what I can do, what's about to open up, and maybe the best case scenario. This is usually worse than it feels. You can barely see. They just have the outline of the bed frame right behind her. But where this often comes through is right before you go to sleep or in your dreams. And this can be like insomnia. It can also be, just even while you're sleeping, you're still processing through the day's problems, whether it's work, relationships, money. But stressing about it doesn't actually fix it. What can fix it, actually, if you really want to get a head start on it, is talking to somebody. So that can happen today, and that can alleviate what we see here. This can also show, unrelated to stress, maybe just things that are going on in your, like it can be hormonal, it can be even just something regarding food or something else that's creating problems with sleep. So obviously that's something that you'll want to talk to your doctor about. Quality and quantity matter, but mostly this is stress management. So don't make a mountain out of a molehill, and don't let someone else kind of like get you overexerted over something. If I think back, I actually had some great corporate jobs, but there were more that were not great than were great. And I remember that at the not so great ones, there tended to be people that were very excitable, very stressed, and they would just kind of like go around and disperse the stress on other people. And then you would have to deal with it. And there would be like invented deadlines and worries about what someone would do or what's going on here. And it was all intangible. So whatever you can't control or don't know, maybe just be blissful about that and focus on what's in front of you, because that's all you really can control, okay? Let go of the other stuff and don't let people trauma dump, basically, is what I'm talking about. I mean, I get it, but it's not your job. You're not the therapist. You're just there to do what you're there to do, okay? Let's take a look at Tuesday. For Tuesday, it's looking much, much better here. We have the Ace of Cups coming through, representing love, joy, partnership. Also, you working on something that you're passionate about and bringing it to the next level. So that looks pretty darn good, I have to say. And we talked about focusing on receptivity. This is basically one of the ultimate cards for receptivity. I'm ready, willing, and able to receive. If there's someone that you need to talk to, you have a great capacity to reach them. If there's something that you want to push out into the world, as long as you're passionate about it, that becomes one of the most magnetic things that you can touch or connect to, right? Also here, I'm getting the word like level up, or I'm getting the words level up. So you have the capacity to take a core relationship to that next level and really lean into it. If it's meant to be, it'll be. So don't be afraid to put your heart out there or put your wishes out there, because not everybody is as intuitive or tuned in as you. So sometimes you have to specifically say, this is what I want, or this is what I don't want. It's all about business as we get to the midweek. So we have on Wednesday, the Nine of Pentacles coming through, a great day to move things forward. We notice at the very top, it's kind of like a falcon. I'm never sure if it's a falcon or a hawk, depends on the deck. But take a moment to get the bird's eye view so you can celebrate progress that you've made. Typically when the Nine of Pentacles makes an appearance, it's also saying, treat yourself. Do something today to celebrate, acknowledge, and treat yourself for the work that you've done. It's one of the few where you're actually getting the okay from spirit that, you can splurge a little bit. It's a slow moving card. Typically there's a snail on it, but slow and steady wins the race, and that's what that reminds us. She's also harvesting the hard work that she's done. It basically shows a fruitful, bountiful kind of energy. And so take a moment today and make sure that you're doing that, that you're, not just working with your nose to the grindstone, but also, enjoying and celebrating and seeing the progress that you've made. If you need to negotiate, Nine of Pentacles is a great card of worth, and so people might have a slightly greater chance of paying you more or giving you more when this card makes an appearance. So don't be afraid to advocate for a little bit more. Okay. Now, as we're taking a look at Thursday, we have Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Peer pressure, family pressure, sometimes even the internal pressure to measure up and be something that others want or expect. And here's the thing, you should already be enough for yourself and for others. And if people are trying to put conditions on the love, take it with a grain of salt and know that some people are never going to be completely happy. This is a great domestic card, and it is a great card of like networking and connecting. But when it's reversed, it's the pressure that comes through. We saw some of that at the beginning of the week. So make sure that it's an even exchange. The Ten of Pentacles can also be family and friends and society expecting you to conform to norms. Like, you should have this kind of job. Parents can put that norm on a kid or that expectation. Society can expect that at a certain age, you should be married, you should have children, you should have a house. These are old archetypes that really don't need to adhere to your life. What do you want? That's all that matters. What used to work doesn't. I saw the energy of death and transformation coming through. Legitimately, some things that were possible 10, 20, 30 years ago for some of your family members, they're not anymore. They're not realistic. And it may not even just be what your heart desires. So say thanks, but no thanks, and let them know that, we've got one time. So that soap opera called One Life to Live, we have many lives to live, but we get one chance in this body. So let's make this embodiment worth it. And you don't need to get to the end of it with regrets. We don't want that. It's a feel-good movie that I like to watch sometimes, but it was Queen Latifah is in, what is it called? Last Holiday. So there's a point where she thinks she may not be able to finish her life. And she looks in a mirror and she starts talking to herself like, we did okay, but we should have done more of this. We should have done more of that. And we don't want to get to that moment where we have regrets like that. So if you have things right now, imagine that you were at Soul Review looking at yourself in the mirror, because that's kind of what Soul Review is like. You have your guides there, But it's not God that judges you. You judge your own progress. Wouldn't it be a much more fantastic planet if we realized that that's it, we're our own judges? So how you treated people that were in pain and need, like all that kind of stuff matters more than how far you got, what grade you got. It's like, how did you conduct your life? How did you impact other people? And did you accomplish what you really wanted to do? That's what matters. You don't take the money, you don't take the fame. You take the lessons and the progress. So if there's something that you think, gosh, I really need to do this, make amends. I really need to travel. I really need to say I'm sorry or I love you. Do it now. Do it today. Do it this week. Take the potential regrets and make them your goals. And if people in your life look at you and don't see what you see, which hopefully is amazing, so be it. They're not truly seeing you. They're not truly perceiving you. So it's about just looking at what matters. And as we get through our lives and start to feel the aches and pains as we get older, we start to realize it doesn't matter so much. There is a wonderful thing that happens as you get older and you just don't care as much about what people think. It's not that you don't care. It's like, I'm only going to get stressed out about what matters. And if you don't like me or if you want me to do something and you're unhappy that I'm doing this, okay, thanks. And you can move on and it's a wonderful thing, but you don't have to wait for age to have that. You can accomplish that at any stage because it really doesn't matter at the end of things. Okay? More love. As we look at the end of the week, we have the Lovers coming through. So, the Lovers is in the reverse position. Don't fake the connection. You either feel it or you don't. For those of you that, and it doesn't just extend to those that are looking for love. This can be friendships. This can be family alliances like we were just talking about, or business. There needs to be mutual love, mutual joy. It should be easy. It should fit like a glove for the most part. And if it doesn't, if you're constantly having to stretch and try to be something that you're not, no, there is something better. All aspects of relationships, it should be easy. And there should be mutual love, affection, and support. So don't force the connection. Discernment is your best friend on Friday. Even if there's someone that you love, but you're feeling friction with, and you think to yourself, I just need a break. I don't know if I really want to hang out with that person. You don't have to. Say no. Be discerning of your time and energy because it is precious. It is finite. We don't know how long we have on the planet, but we know it's not forever. So pick and choose it well and spend time with people that amp you up. You need your sort of like your pep squad around you, your hype team. Make sure that's the people that you're spending time with. There could be unexpected love that's coming through, someone that's interested in you. It could be unrequited as well. Just make sure that it's what you want, it's what you feel, okay? As we take a look at this upcoming Saturday, we have Five of Pentacles reversed. So with the Five of Pentacles reverse, it's about self-worth. And this isn't easy. It doesn't happen overnight. What I love about the way that the Lightseers deck illustrates it is this. The key is there. The belief that she can open the door with the key, that's what's lacking. I can't do it. I'm not worthy. It won't happen. These are self-fulfilling prophecies, or at the very least, they're blocks. So when you think to yourself, I want to do it. I need this to happen. You're starting to open it up just by the use of a different word, a different verb usually. And it's also the conjugation of it. So I'll take can, I'll take will, like I can and I will, because it's showing willingness and ability. But I really would love you to say I am, or it is. Let's bring it present tense. And as someone that's an English major, that's also now kind of in spirituality, I understand the power of the present. Why is the present tense so powerful? Because it's the act of creation. When you think of could have, should have, would have, it's possibilities, but it's more on the lens of regret. When you think will or should, it's kind of like non-committal. I am or it is definite. It's definitive. It's happening. And it's creating and affecting tomorrow. And that's where the power is. Not in regret, not in maybes. Are you or aren't you? Yoda said this. What is it? Do or do not, there is no try. So are you committed? If you commit to it, and it's kind of interesting. I was thinking about, what do you do in a wedding? It's I do, which I guess is kind of, but wouldn't it be better than I am or we are? I almost wish that was even a little bit more present. But the most powerful thing you can do is say, I am and doing this. So we are doing this. So make it present, get committed. And that's going to help you. That'll help you break through this, because this just represents indecision on some levels due to a lack of support in the past. And also this sort of lack of knowledge that you are deserving, or this lack of belief that you are deserving. So the way to get through this is, I am worthy, I am ready, I am willing to receive. And I'm also sick and tired of getting less than I deserve. I am sick and tired of people treating me like I am not enough. I am enough. That will help you transmute this. That can even be some of the conversation that you have with someone. I have, let's say it's a boss. I have produced, I have met all of the requirements, and we've talked about this. I am ready. When are you going to be ready? When is enough enough? I'm worth more than this. Usually bosses aren't ready for that. So you can use better words than I did. Sometimes you have to corporatize it, but that's also why I can't do that anymore, because I would have that real conversation. I'm not going to stay late because you didn't plan appropriately. Or if I'm going to stay late, I need more. I need a spot raise. I need more time. I can't keep doing this and covering for you. So that's why I can't do it anymore. Because I spent too many years, 15 years, dealing with people's inadequacies and covering and making everybody happy. And you reach a point, I know if I had stayed, I probably would have had a heart attack or a stroke, because it builds up and it's got to go somewhere. And if it doesn't come out here, it's going to find a place in your body. So negotiate and advocate for yourself. Don't bottle it up, okay? The other thing that this can represent is a need to stretch and take care of your lower extremities. Circulation is an important thing. Do take care of yourself. This can also represent a cold or flu. So make sure that you're getting ample rest so that you are taken care of and that you are strong and that you can get through things. And then a week from today, we have a great card. We have the High Priestess coming through, representing your ability to manifest. So all of the stuff that I was talking about with the verb to be, with saying I am, can come through with this. I see it. I am ready for this. I am doing this. And believing is seeing with this too. So if I believe it's possible, I can see where this can go. One thing that came through this morning, because I was a little bit tired, my mom was trying to wake me up. She's in spirit, but I was looking out at the ceiling, and the ceiling in my hotel, I was seeing those little glow in the dark stars. It's not here, but it was reminding me to imagine the sky is the limit. That's what I got from that. And then she was like, you need to wake up for the reading today. I was like, thanks, Mom. But anyway, she also reminded me to look up. This is an inside comment that she and I would have with one another. Never forget to look up. Usually I would say this when there was an eclipse or a full moon or something worth paying attention to. But it also is saying, look up and look around, and it's kind of like what we saw here in this card, because something is ripe for the picking. Something is coming through. So also focus on your psychic and intuitive development, any sort of creative processes that you want. This is a great day for healing. It's a great day for manifesting, and it's a great day in general. It is what you make of it, okay? Let's look at highlights and challenges. Someone said, is a highlight a good day? Yes, it is. In comments this past week, I didn't have time to answer it. So if I'm highlighting it, it's good. So you've got a lot of highlights this week. I'm going to look at 3 cards in particular. Today's a highlight, the Two of Cups. Tuesday's a highlight, the Ace of Cups. And we just went into great depth why Sunday is. Because for today and for Tuesday, it's the power of passion and people. And for next Sunday, it's manifestation, if you're ready, if you're willing, if you're ready and able. I repeated that, but it's worth repeating. I think the challenges are Monday for the most part, because it's stress management, and Thursday because it's peer pressure. We talked about how to deal with this. I think just resting and reassuring yourself is okay. So Monday, Thursday, and Saturday are the kind of challenges. All right, let's give Apollo a pat on the head, and then we'll get into the next portion of the reading. Let me see if my camera will work. I forgot to test this before I got everything set up. No, it's not ready. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Hey, buddy. Are you a good boy? Yes. Good job, buddy. Give me 1 second. All right. Thanks for saying hello, Apollo. Now let's move on to the next portion of today's reading. We're going to take a look at, let's see, we're going to the elements next. So on to the elements. This is going to help us look at fire, earth, air, and water. By the way, I've decided how I'm going to do this month's readings. I'm going to do a half month to a half month. So I'll do July 15th to August 15th so that we have that, and it will give you a full month, and I'll try to get everything done by the 15th. This way they spread over 2 months, but it's going to be a 4-week period. I don't have to do any weird anything. It'll just be that period of time. So we'll look at because I'm going to be moving on the 23rd. I'll be flying out on the 22nd, 23rd. So I need to do something that will give me some time to breathe. You'll still get your readings. It's mid-month to mid-month. And that gives me time to get settled as I'm in Spain. So thank you for the patience. It's been a busy couple of weeks. I have like 10 things that I'm doing every single day. So that's why things are delayed. It's not for any other reason than that. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at these elements. Fire, earth, air, water. We'll begin with fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Changes, expansion, growth, movement. So the World card is about as good as it can get in the major arcana. And I was mentioning that whole idea of the sky is the limit. So if you're ready and willing to believe that it's possible, it's possible. And Spirit's also coming through and saying, okay, like now's the time. If not now, then when? I'm going to find another version of this card because I just like it. But what you can do in the energy of the world is basically, it's myriad. It's a time for broadcasting, dissemination, delivery, expansion, movement. And I wanted to show these two cards because they have similar energies. Fool is about like stepping into something new, and the world is about stepping out of something. And I mentioned these sort of whole energy around death and rebirth, and I feel like that's what's coming through for you. All you have to do is step through the door. So there might be something coming to a close, but there's also something quickly following it. There's an ace on the other side. So don't fear that this is as good as it gets or this is all that there is. It's just your chance to stand up, to shine, to deliver, to release. But it does involve stepping up and, stepping out as well. And so don't be afraid to do just that. This is a great time for you to publish, like I said, disseminate, deliver, or send something out into the world. And also, you should be leveling up. So if there's any sort of glass ceiling right now that's holding you back, this is a time where the universe is saying, I think it's time to find places and spaces in your life where you have room to expand. So if people are purposely kind of holding you back or just not allowing you to have the growth that you need, it's time, folks. But ultimately, it's one of the best cards we can get. I think this is going to be a fantastic week. You may be asked to step up to the stage. This is a visible, conspicuous card. You've created this moment of growth, so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And if there's something that is no longer serving or suiting you, it's about stepping out and walking into something. So using my whole experience with corporate, I remember one of the people, it was like an HR person, they said, I want to make sure that you're aware of what you're doing. You're stepping away from your career. I did have the wherewithal to say, or am I stepping towards a dream and a goal? I was really stepping towards my purpose. That shut him up. I said, actually, I'm really moving towards something I want to do. So it can be both. It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. And they're not used to hearing that. And they were like, okay, I just want to make sure you know. And I was like, yeah, I know. But thank you for like making sure that I had the power to kind of say that. So it can be both. You can walk away and then walk towards. It's all perspective. All right, we're going to move now from fire to earth. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Some of you have been building things for so long that there is sort of like this pent-up energy. So this Eight of Pentacles has a beaver, and we have a dam here. And sometimes dams get to the point where you need a release valve, right? There's too much. And also, like, you can get to the point where you over-prepare. And I feel like there might be a little bit of this going on for some of you. And because Eight of Pentacles is learning, producing, working on things, and it's ready. It's ready for prime time. It's like the perpetual student that goes and gets like 5 degrees. At a certain point, you have to graduate and get out and practice. So we're moving from theory to practice. We're moving from preparation to like actually going on the stage and making things happen. This is a good time, though, if you want to learn something brand new, to do so. If you want to finish something up. But that's the main encouragement that I get both from the download and also the visual is you're closer than you think. It won't take as long, and there has to come a point where there's an end to whatever it is that you're working on. The other thing here is some of you are saving, because I'm looking at the dam and it's about making sure that there's enough, using the existing resources to create more. So your ability to budget and make really wise investments right now will pay off in the long run. You're one of the people that's going to fare pretty well. It's also construction cards, so this is a time to lean into building and creating and breathing new life into things. A great week overall. Get to work. There's no procrastination this week for the earth signs. All right, let's move on from earth to air. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We have the Page of Swords in the reverse position. So make sure your voice is heard. Make sure that if there's a question that you have, that it gets answered. And if there's any kind of corrections that you need to make, circle them. Send it back for a revision. Make sure that things feel right to you. Pages need to listen as much as they speak, and this Page of Swords is reminding you to do the same. You can pick up on so much when you are listening. Because people will sometimes reveal things that actually just give them more space in a conversation. When you think it's done, like give them an extra step or beat or two, and then sometimes they'll share even more. So make sure you leave room and listen. I'm also looking at the golden mean pattern behind him, and what might be going on for some of you is you're seeing a pattern and you're like, I want to break this, or I want to try something else, or back to the drawing board. You can do all of the above. Pages need to speak up, need to be heard, and need to listen. So it's all the different forms of communication, but particularly listening, speaking, and correcting things. That's one of the things that comes through in particular with the Page of Swords. For the writers out there, it doesn't matter what kind of thing you're writing. It can be a fictional piece. It can be something like a curriculum. You could be writing a proposal, a bid, a contract, something scientific, because we actually see math on this one. But get it in writing. Remember what I talked about? It's not just about the contract, it's about the download. So let me elaborate. I have to get my dreams in writing or they disappear. Because I was doing some research on this. I'm like, why do dreams disappear? Because I'm writing a little something on this. But it's because of the way that our brain works in sleep. It's kind of like RAM on your computer versus a hard disk or a solid state disk where it gets saved to that. So if you just turn your computer off or you reboot it and something's stored in temporary RAM, it's gone. So you've known this. If there's a computer crash and you haven't saved your document and then autosave isn't working, it's gone. Dreams are like that. They're stored in a part of our brain that's short term. You can remember them from anywhere from like maybe 1 to 5 minutes, depending on how good your short-term memory is. But if you don't commit them to paper, and it's not maybe like a clairvoyant download where you will remember every detail of it, then it'll go. So take those ideas. The muses speak to us in multiple ways. For those of you that are composers, musical composers, I am certain many of you have gotten lyrics at the strangest times, including when you're asleep, or you've heard melodies in your head and you're like, I gotta write that out. That's why. It's coming through, but we just don't have it in the right storage place. So when you put it into writing, you're now putting it into long-term storage. And when I write down my dreams, I don't write everything. I write what needs to be written, and then I can jog my memory. And just the act of kind of like putting it into some format, I'm like, I got it. I can go back and retrieve it. Even the little fragments are enough for me to place it together. That's part of the get it in writing. Because if you don't take an idea and capture it, even in everyday life, you can get distracted. The phone will ring, you go to the fridge, you're like, wait, what was I thinking? I'm sure you've done that too. You've got to walk yourself back. I'll actually talk to myself. I'll say, come on, what were you doing? Think about this, Nicholas. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, we were doing this. You've got to work to remember. You've got to work to capture that. Capture the little strokes of genius when they happen, okay? All right. Water. For many of you, it's discernment this week when it comes to how you're spending your time and energy. And I talked a little bit about this with the reversals of the people cards, like the Lovers, and also even the Ten of Pentacles. When is enough enough? If you're constantly giving, giving, and giving, but not receiving, it's time to pull back a little bit. You've learned the lesson already with this because the Six of Pentacles is more about balance and advocating. But the Seven of Pentacles comes through because sometimes we have a tendency to overextend and say yes when we should say no. So be willing to stand your ground. This is also connected with growth and recovery. It takes time. Keep moving, keep stretching. Eventually you'll get there. Don't push yourself too hard though. Don't let others push you too hard either. I do like that, it's like a cheetah, right? Whatever the stripes are on her, the little spots. I get like a fast energy. There's no rush. You don't, leopard or cheetah. You don't need to push yourself too fast or too far. Give it time, give yourself time. You'll be glad that you did that, okay? Growth, recovery, both take time, so give it time. Ultimately, though, healing and bouncing back is a part of this card, so you are en route to some amazing opportunities and growth and progress, but just know your limits and observe them, okay? Overall, a pretty good spread of cards, and we're getting close to retrograde being over, so yay for all of that. All right, we're now at the midpoint here where we're just getting ready for the special topic. So, by the way, if you enjoyed this video, if you're brand new, hit the subscribe button. I'm here every Sunday. I do daily, weekly, monthly, and special topic videos. You don't want to miss out, so subscribe. Everyone else, give it a like if you can. For those of you that are watching live and want to help me make my goal, there's a little target. We are like 1/3 of the way there. Usually I'll extend it, and sometimes I will pick the runner up that didn't make it this week, or if I just feel called to focus a little bit more in a certain area, I'll do that. So help us make that target if you can. You can also give back with just a random sticker if you'd like to. When this is done, if you're watching it on replay, you can find out more about me from my website and give me a follow across social media, where it's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms. And also from my website, you can give back through PayPal if you don't want to do it here on YouTube. And if you want to book a reading with me, you can also do it there, okay? All right, now let's move on to today's special topic. And just to kind of like read it as it fully is, today's special topic is the crown chakra, seeing beyond the moment and stepping into your purpose, because the third eye allows us to see hidden truths, to see possibilities, but the crown really connects us to source. And it's when things go like cosmic and you really think to yourself, I've done this before. I really know I can do it. Like, you get that confidence. So I really want to connect us to source and help you find your purpose. And seeing beyond limitations, even of your own imagination. So it's like beyond the beyond. It's about as big as you can get. All right, so we're entering into the special topic now. Let me decide which deck I want to use for this as well. Let's see here. Need something powerful. This could work. I think I'll just work with this one. Okay. Take a couple moments now, if you've just joined, to tune in and allow yourself to really just let go of anything that you might be holding on to, fear, doubts, anxiety, and really just open up. Place your feet on the ground and imagine that you are connected to the core of the planet. And then because we're looking at the crown today, imagine that the sun or the moon is shining a ray of light onto the top of your crown. So we have basically connection above and below. You are safe, protected, and connected to Source. Let's welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters and see how you can step into your purpose and see beyond the moment. I'm just going to use the crows for all of them, actually. We'll do something different here. Okay, let's get started. We're going to begin with Catalyst, which I haven't pulled yet. We'll do one separate deck for this one. So let's begin with your catalyst for today. Your catalyst today is the owl, wisdom, learning, and transition. Hello, hello. That's connected to the death and rebirth energy that I saw. One thing that's cool about the owl is it can turn its head nearly 360, not all the way, but it can see in almost all directions. And this is like a crossroads symbol. Some of you are very much at the point where you have to look at all of those points and decide, does this still align? Is this in alignment for me? The wisdom and the learning piece is a reminder that you're never too old to learn something new, to try something different. But it's also leaning into the fact of what I was talking about earlier. We've all lived many lives. We lived this one once, but you can lean into the cosmic ancient knowledge that exists within us all, okay? Let's take a look at this spread and see what's going on here as I drink some liquid here. This is the ace that I was talking about. So I mentioned that in dreams, I saw death and then I saw the ace come through. So I'm heartened a bit by the fact that we have an ace of wands coming through for us today. So that's good news. There's so much this week around family and like old traditions, I think, for some of you. So we might be breaking down some of the traditions here with this Ten of Pentacles. Success is on the horizon, but it's time to move into something new. So let's take it one card at a time. So at the center of this spread, we have the Three of Pentacles. This is an interesting Three of Pentacles. We see the sort of teamwork energy, but we also see that sometimes it's hard to make everyone happy. And I'm looking at the way that this was connected. Yeah, this was a reversed Three of Pentacles. So teamwork makes the dream work, but you can't make everybody happy all the time. And some of you are realizing that you're going to have to just do what feels right for you. And if we go to the traditional card, which I will here, it can be a little bit independent. So take things with a grain of salt, listen to constructive feedback, but discern and decide when some of that feedback is just noise. Because sometimes it can be. Everybody has an opinion. And from my experience, because I used to work in creative circles, so as a art director, a manager of creative people, and what I found out sometimes if you had like a creative review, and there were clients there or stakeholders there, not everyone needed to weigh in, but everyone had an opinion and they would just speak up and say things. And sometimes those words would be carried with too much weight because it was somewhat, but like they didn't know what they were talking about. So take it with a grain of salt. How experienced is this person? How knowledgeable? And how much of that do you need to take and put into practice? So he's listening. they're speaking, and he'll decide, okay, I hear this, let me try this. I think this is what you're trying to communicate. Because sometimes, especially since we were dealing with design, you could bring back something and they're like, oh, you're right. That's what I was trying, like you could interpret it and say, take a look at this, give it a try. I think this is what you're looking for. Be discerning and don't be afraid to advocate for what you know is right. Someone has to be the voice of reason. And designing by committee or deciding by committee is rarely good. We do need to kind of like pull it in a little bit, and there has to be a certain amount of rounds of revision, and it eventually is done. So this is true in any aspect of your life. You can take so many counsels before it's like, I need to just decide. So it's decision time. You can weigh it in, but it does not need to be a decision by committee. It won't be good. Because invariably, when everyone and their sister was weighing in, it ended up looking like trash because you lost the core of it. And it was just like a watered down version of that. There was more than one time that I was involved in creative projects where too many people that were not qualified were making decisions around usability and design. But in our own lives, there can be people that kind of weigh in and they're like, you need to do this, or you should be doing that. Take it with a grain of salt. Okay, we have the Ace of Wands on top of this. So the Ace of Wands, this is getting more to purpose. This Ace of Wands is a paintbrush, and both wands and swords can be interpreted as, you know, putting pen to paper or putting something into practice. You're breathing life into it. So help people see what you're trying to express. Some of you might literally be stepping into more of a creative path, but it could also just be like, instead of asking permission, I'll show you that I can do this. This is particularly true of parents or friends that think you don't know what you're doing or you can't do this. You just show them and they're like, oh, maybe you're good. Okay. Also, you never know until you try. So if we live in the fear-based thought that maybe I'll fail, you'll never get on the bike and learn how to ride. I can guarantee you, it's like learning a bike. Because I remember that as a kid. I waited almost too long, and it took a friend of mine, a neighbor, to help me get through it. She's like, I was going into the third grade. So I was like second going into third grade, I'd moved. She's like, got to take the training wheels off. I'll help you. And she kind of worked with me a little bit, and then eventually she let go, and she's like, see, you're doing it. Like, you were afraid. We practiced going down a hill too, and eventually it was like, okay, move your feet. And that was it. So sometimes you just need to take the training wheels off and try. The worst that will happen is you scrape your knee or you don't do it on the first try. But when you actually are doing it, there are moments in your life where you think, God, I'm doing it. Learning how to drive a car, learning how to ride a bike, learning how to write like actual letters or speak a language, and you're suddenly like, oh, I think I just understood what that person said, or I know how to conjugate this or whatever. It doesn't happen initially. You're going to look silly at the beginning, but if you don't try, you'll never do it. So you might as well try. And practice makes perfect. And this is unless you are born as a phenom that remembers everything from a past lifetime, it's a practice. Spiritual practice and everything is a practice. And the more that you practice, the more that comes through. For me lately, one of the things that's coming through is mediumship when I do like a private reading. So the night before, I'll just get all of this specific information. But that's because I've shifted and I practice every day with the dailies, and I'm like, no, I want to do more with mediumship because it'll make me a stronger intuitive. Even if people don't like that format, I was like, it's right for me. And that's where you have to do what's right for you because it will help you grow. People don't always want you to grow, but that's more on them. That's more fear-based. That's more intimidation sometimes than it is something that you need to be focusing on, right? Okay. Deep past. We have Janus, the god of ends and beginnings. Easier said than actually articulated there. But this is what I've been saying for the whole reading. I feel like we're at the doorway here where you're looking at multiple directions. Past, present, future, possibilities. You've already got an idea percolating, many of you, like what you want to do next or what you should be doing. And this card is saying, when? When is this going to happen? Let's put it into writing. Let's step into your purpose. and give it a few attempts, give it a few tries. Don't freak out if it doesn't happen immediately. Because in the beginning, you're always kind of talking to yourself or trying on your own, and eventually the audience, the connection happens. So also give yourself time to daydream. I want to pull the traditional card because it'll show something even more important. When we're children, and that's why this is in the deep past, we are given not even just permission, but sometimes an assignment. You know, what do you want to do when you grow up? And we get a second chance at this, like even when we're in high school, middle school, high school, whatever. Teachers are like, where do you want to go to college? What do you want to do after, school? What's next? But once we become adults, no one really asks us, what do you want to do when you're 20? What do you want to do when you're 30, 40, 50, 80, 100? People stop asking, so you have to start. And this is a card of what if. And once you realize the what if, then you can step into it, to the why not. What if? Why not? So for some of you, it's just been a moment since someone has prompted you. So I'm here today to prompt you. What's next? Why not? Give it a try. Dream a little bit. It's scary, but it's also super empowering. Excuse me. All right, let's take a look at recent past. We have the Fool. And the Fool and this Janus card are very much related because it is just about taking a step. In this one, we have the Little Mermaid, or a re-envisioned version of her. So there's a couple things that are interesting because we have the Little Mermaid transposed over this. So it's been a long time since I've watched the movie, but it's basically a story of longing. She wishes she could be a part of another world. All that's required is taking a step, taking a leap. But she needed to be more discerning in her choices because she signed a contract with someone who took more than they gave, the Sea Witch, right, Ursula. Use your voice. Don't give your voice away. Be authentically yourself. Don't try to change to be loved, if we take some of the takeaways on this story. And maybe there's a blending of the two worlds. You don't have to be either or. In this card, she does have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So, like I was telling the HR person a bazillion years ago, I can be both walking away and walking towards something. They aren't mutually exclusive. So you might be doing a little bit of both, and you could be honoring your previous version of yourself and this new version of yourself. The most powerful thing with the Fool, though, is they don't worry so much. They kind of just let it go. And the Fool carries only what's necessary, a little tiny knapsack, because it's also representative of what it's going to be like when you step into the next life. When you move out of your physical body into your spiritual body, there's not a lot you're taking with you physically. It's all heart and head. It's all of the lessons. It's all of the love. And so it's a leap of faith. One thing that's different with this time around when I'm doing this, I've been through so much over the past year when I thought, oh, I'll stay, maybe it'll be okay. And I was like, no, it wasn't. And so I've got nothing to lose. And I feel very peaceful about this next move that's coming. I'm also it's kind of Buddhist. I'm detached from it. I just think to myself, oh, I'm ready. This is a connection moment. It'll open up new things for me. So as I step into a big move in my life, I'm not actually overly attached. It could be great. It could be not so great. So what? I want to do it. I want to try it. And I feel like if we stepped into more situations detached, I'm very detached from this, then it can actually be quite good. The more detached you are, the more open you are, and the more you can see it. My heart and my head are no longer driving the ship, my energy is. So sometimes that's it. It's the next logical step. And the Fool just has to do it. When you start a new job, when you say I do in a relationship, when you move into a new place, it's a leap of faith. You've done all the work. You have to think, this is the next step. So allow there to be this also sense of peace in beginning something new. All you have to do is show up. This is true of life too. All you have to do is show up. Crowning position, Page of Cups, reverse position. Okay, so a little bit of emotional clearing and cleaning. This could be holding you back from seeing beyond the moment. Some of you are still looking to the could have, would have, should haves, or the energy of regret. I can, I will, I am. That's where we have to keep putting the energy. And no more strings attached. this little bunny rabbit around his ankle is trying to, well, it could be one of two things: untangle or untie something, or tie something. We want to release strings. So this is particularly true of love, relationships, and opportunities. There shouldn't be too much fine print. There shouldn't be too many conditions. Obviously, there has to be a few, but there shouldn't be unnecessary or uncomfortable ones. And also, it's just really believing that you deserve happiness, joy, and love. Make a decision that you deserve that, and then look for it. Believe it, then find it, then see it, then identify it. Ten of Pentacles. You can teach an old dog new tricks. And Apollo's like, don't talk about me. He's very, very peaceful, very, very much just like, Dad, I'm not even listening to you. Ten of Pentacles. So here's the thing, though. You are further along than someone that you love, like along this sort of mental journey. They're the old dog, you're not the old dog. And I'm, again, using this more playfully. Let's say there's someone in your life that threatens to disown or disconnect from you because you want to do something. You're no child of mine if you do that, or I can't accept you if you do this, or I don't know. Like, all right, that's your loss because I'm happy and I love you, and this isn't going to stop me from being myself or caring about you. If you want to do that, I might call you on the bluff. They'll usually come around, and if they don't, that speaks volumes. So there might be someone that threatens that, but actually the people that matter will be there. They will be loyal, and they will believe in you. But you have to believe in yourself. So that might have been one of the reasons I went towards this deck, because it's a very unusual Ten of Pentacles. But it is a stuffy card in general. I believe the Odyssey's coming out, right? This card is connected to Odysseus. That's the old man here. He's been through a long journey. And he's kind of disconnected from what you see in this scene here. He's been through so much that the old trappings don't work anymore. And it's kind of like, for many of us that are old souls, you're at a point where it's like, I can't be that version of me anymore. I have to be this version. So lean into your inner Odysseus, your inner traveler. This is like this is the fool that's been around many, many times. I've only read portions of it. I really want to kind of read the whole book before the movie comes out, but it's like so many travels. So you're capable of whatever is in front of you, even if people around you can't imagine that you can do it, because you've been through this. Loyalty is also a piece of this, the dogs representing loyalty and companionship. So the people that you choose in this next chapter should have loyalty, kindness. They're there for you through thick and through thin, right? Okay. Now let's take a look at where you're at. And some of you are in the sort of deciding point of your life here. So we have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords in the reverse position, slightly different. So there are three things that I want to talk about, if I can remember all of them. The first is there's more than what you see. There's more than meets the eye. The Two of Swords is an illusion, this or that, or the other thing. And sometimes or is the best choice. So explore the or the alternatives, because you might see something in front of you that isn't enough, and that's okay. It's an inquisitive card. So for those who say no in your life, ask them, why not? Sometimes they don't know. If they say, well, because, it's not enough. So dig to the deeper questions. Why do you believe that? How have you come to that conclusion? Why are we not exploring this? Why can't I? So get inquisitive. This is also a card that is asking you to lean back into the imagination. Different sides of the two. This is thinking, I can't, and this is thinking, why not? So what this is encouraging you to do, because it's reversed, is to go into the third eye. We can even see she has like a little bindi painted on her third eye. There's an encouragement here now to look, to see, to perceive. There's something else. There's something more. And this is helping you get into seeing beyond. Many of you already know what that is, but if you don't yet, it's an encouragement to dream and to ask yourself, well, what else might there be? Okay? In the environment, we have the Six of Wands, leading the charge. The card is reversed, so you might be the first to see it, the first to understand it. She does have other people in the thicket behind her, so she isn't quite aware yet just of what's about to come through. And I'm looking again, this was reversed. So the Six of Wands in the reverse position is also an invitation to redefine what success looks and feels like to you. So conventional versions of success, levels of power, like you reach a certain level and you have a certain title. Even if we look back at, like, you know, people that had the title of Lord and Lady and all of that, okay, I guess that's an old version of it. Money, richness, connections, and people that accomplish these certain levels of privilege, that could be levels of success. It can also be acclaim and recognition, like celebrities. There are other levels of success. These are internal. I set out to do something and I succeeded. That's success. It doesn't matter if the external validation is there. If you did it, good for you. Success is also the impact you make on others in your life. So we'll keep showing Apollo because he's so cute today. He's a rescue. So one thing that I feel good about with Mr. Apollo is rather than purchasing a puppy, I rescued a dog that had a really bad start and tried to make a difference in his life. And I spoil him and treat him like the little prince that he is. And I feel good about that. And I get love back in return. But I did it because he deserved something better. So I made an impact there. Parents, you do the same with your kids. You try to give them everything you can. You're making impacts. Teachers, healers, doctors, mentors, any myriad of other professions that I'm forgetting right now. Musicians as well. Like when you can create joy, when you can give tools like teachers, like intelligence, when you do things that outlast you or just really extend beyond you, that's success too. So just like I had that conversation with my HR person, it can be money, it can be recognition, it can be privilege, but it can also be impact. It can also be this capacity to just complete your goals and also like lift up the people around you. I think I said it in today's or yesterday's, it was sometime this week, we had a daily. Leave the world better than you found it and do better than you did yesterday. That's success. That's all you really need for success. Everything else is icing. If you get recognized, great, but it doesn't actually change whether or not you succeeded. Okay. Hopes, fears, and opportunities. Five of Swords. We're not going to pay any mind to the naysayers, to the gaslighters, to the people that like to get under your skin and bother you. Let's see what I do with the Lightseers. I like the Lightseers version of this. So there's always going to be at least one naysayer. Someone who has an opinion and who may not have, well, sometimes purposely they don't want to say it in a way that is kind. They just want to kind of like knock you down a notch and get in your head and live rent-free. But that's not how it's going to work anymore. So if there's someone in your life that talks more than they listen, that can't accept constructive criticism when the ball is in their court, or that just likes to be cantankerous and get under your skin, you don't have time for this. It's a headache. It's a headache dealing with these people, right? It can also be the inner saboteur, and that can also be equally as tiring. The voice that says you can't, you won't, you'll never. Just dismiss it. And don't put too much time or energy into people around you that are saying that. Also, like when it comes to moving forward in your life, criticism is always going to exist. So we can't live for fear of criticism. We can just contextualize it and look at the source and decide, is it really worth it? Like worrying about this person? Probably not. And then in the outcome, we have the Chariot card. It's in the reverse position. It's a pivot point for some of you. You're deciding to turn into a new direction. Some of you, it's a return to form. Like, oh, I've always wanted to do this. Now I'm going to do it. For some of you, it's saying, I'm sick of this path and I want to try something else. This is also reclamation of power. So he's pulling, well, there are reins on this, but it can be pulling the reins and saying, I need to do this. I want to go there. You're asserting authority, power, and decision-making ability. Also, adjusting the speed, either slowing down or speeding up. You're the one setting the tempo and the speed, though, on this. That's the important thing, okay? So as we go into the expanded forecast, we have seeing beyond the moment, stepping into your purpose. I'm going to look at each of these cards as questions to those. I think one card is enough to look at the progress on these, but we're going to expand now. Health, wealth, love, and destiny, starting off with health, mind, body, and spirit. We have the anomaly card here, which has come through a few times this month, it feels like, and it's coming through in health. So just looking at it solely as the topic, like as health, then I'll look at beyond the moment and then stepping into purpose. So if there's something that feels off, honor that and talk to your doctor about that, because it's more than an anomaly. It's something that your body's trying to get your attention to. So if there's an ache, a pain, or something that you know doesn't feel right, get that sorted. Also, believe in miracles. You could be the anomaly. So if there's like odds that are stacked against you, imagine, believe, and know that you can be the one that is the exception to the rule. I have a friend that's a shaman, and I've known him since we were in the 4th grade. We didn't know that we were going to be on spiritual paths. It's so funny that like many, many decades later, we both caught up with each other. And like we had reconnected at a 20th high school reunion a long time ago, and then realized, oh my gosh, look at what we're doing now. This is so funny because we lived in a place where it wasn't, there were no psychics, there was no talk of metaphysics. But anyway, long story short, my friend reminded me. He said, sometimes when a doctor gives you a diagnosis, it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Particularly when it comes to like, you have 6 months to live. Who are you to decide? You can tell me the phase of where I'm at, what's going on, but I'll decide. And my spirit, source, self, body, healing capacity, it will decide. Just tell me what I need to do to be ready, to be prepared. Because if you take 2 different people and tell them 2 different things, if you tell someone you can beat this versus this is terminal, there's going to be a wildly different outcome because the body is going to go into fight or flight or is going to go into natural healing mode. So let's go into natural healing mode and think to ourselves, oh, this is happening. I get playful. I'm like, I wonder how much of this I could heal. With this, it was quite a bit. My hearing returned. I'm still working on a little bit of occasional congestion or swelling, but like the hearing piece, which was the most important piece, returned. Similar thing is happening with the pain I had in my knee. I'm like, I bet you if I took some supplements and increased the collagen and start working on my healing and increase my exercise, I can reverse or remove or improve whatever's going on there. So I like to work with doctors to know where I need to focus, maybe even get an image of it, and then I like to see how far I can take it. And then if I need medicine, sometimes I need that like for blood pressure, there's only so much you can control, but like why not try to push it a little bit and see. It's a blend. I blend Western and Eastern. It does not have, like the HR person, why does it have to be either or? Why can't I work with both and surprise myself and the doctors sometimes? Because they're like, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. Okay. Prayer, meditation, healing, and supplements in addition to what you're telling me to do. So it can be holistic. Because we are energy as well as this biological thing, that it's a vehicle, it's a sort of vessel. But we're more than that. We're so much more than the physical. Okay? So the anomaly can also be a positive thing where you can surprise and overcome the odds. Okay? Very, very important, especially for people that are dealing with something that we don't understand completely yet. So never underestimate your own body's capacity to fight, to advocate, and to overcome. It may not be exactly what you never know how far you can go. Just don't pay too much mind to, because it's guesses, everyone's guessing. So when they're saying maybe this to that or approximately this, so put your own best foot forward in that as well, okay? It can be both. You can do your part, they can do their part, all right? I want to state that I'm not a doctor, but you owe it to yourself to at least allow your energy for healing to come forth too. Okay. Again, we're looking at health. Now we're looking at it more through the lens of seeing beyond the moment and stepping into your purpose. This is a really good card for both. So beyond the moment. In your life, I mean, we're kind of even looking a little bit at wealth here, but in your life, there may be people that have tried to get you to fit into a different mold. They say, why do you have to be so strange, so different? And I think to myself of Cyndi Lauper's album title, She's So Unusual. She was kind of like, it was tongue-in-cheek, very cheeky title actually, because she's like, yeah, I know I'm a bit of a freak, but so what? And listen to all of this amazing music that I can make. Because her and Madonna back in the day, and I think Madonna even borrowed some fashion from her, and they inspired each other a little bit, but they were, especially their first albums, they kind of looked the same. They were just picking up pieces of fashion and stuff from, like the Five and Dime and putting together this look. And I would say Cyndi went even further. She went more into the punk element of it. And she's like, I'm going to, what's the word here? Provoke you a little bit with this because I want you to pay attention to me. So I love that. And she's always stuck with that. She's always been a little bit punk. So you don't need to blend in. And it might be healthier for you not to be the same as everyone else. This is true for people that are neurodivergent, people that are part of the LGBTQ community, people that just don't want to do what someone else did because it didn't work. You're not an anomaly. You're perfect the way that you are. But you're just different. So what? Enjoy it. Shine brightly. Make something of that, because what makes you different also can make you powerful, strong, and so unusual, but also very successful. So let Cyndi be that kind of guide there. Own it. Fly your freak flag. All right. So seeing beyond or stepping into your purpose, you're supposed to be the light. You're supposed to be a little bit different so someone else can see, oh, I can do that. So when we have diverse people stepping out into the world, showing that you don't have to blend in, then all the little kids out there that are thinking, I'm not good enough, but wait, look at that person. Maybe I am good enough. That's why visibility is important. That's why it's important to have different voices, different faces, different people. So maybe some of you are different, and that's good. And maybe there's someone in your life that's different, and you're going to help champion them. But it's the singular energy, the different energy that brings you the success. And so be it. And I believe this card was reversed. And it's just saying, I don't actually really believe in the energy of anomalies, just that it's something that's different. And whenever something new comes out, it's going to be different, but then it becomes the norm after a while. So what's shocking today is not so shocking tomorrow. You're just a little bit ahead of it, okay? So you might need some support if you're trying something unique, if you're feeling isolated, if you feel like you stick out like a sore thumb. So that's where, we got a lot of energy around partnership and love with the Two of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Lovers. I saw them in different points. Then it's important right now to kind of lean into all of that, okay? And you will be okay. All right, let's move on now. Let me see if there's anything else here, just generally speaking from wealth. I think we had the Two of Swords at some point, right? So with the Two of Swords, I just want to kind of highlight again that it's important for you, yeah, it's you, to get a second opinion. And also with the Two of Swords, hearing and vision can be a part of that as well, okay? Let's move on to wealth. We already got a little bit of that with what we just talked about. But for wealth, we have a card of luck. So I strongly believe that we make our luck. And I saw Death plus an Ace plus the Knight of Swords coming through in spirit. So if you've hit a dead end, if you lost a job, if you failed at something, I see an Ace in your future and I see it happening quickly. An Ace plus a Knight of Swords. Also, you could speak it into existence. So there are two ways that you can reprogram your mental manifestation muscle. I was trying to think how to communicate this. I want you to stop, for those of you that think, I am I don't want to even say it because I don't want to put it into my energy, or I never have luck with, or I have bad. Don't say it. I won't even say it. Instead, think to yourself, my luck is changing, or just better yet, I am what? Lucky. So just put it into the I am. I'm lucky. Not I feel lucky, I'm lucky. This is going to work because I'm lucky. And it's my turn. My luck's turning around. My luck turned around. Make it more definitive. Because every breath, every step is a new opportunity to be lucky. It may not have been all that you expected in the past, but the past is the past. And all that matters is right here, right now. This is the most powerful moment of your life. Why? Because you're creating tomorrow. And in another breath, that's going to be the most powerful moment, and the breath after that. So I want you to start to feel that you are lucky. This will help us with the seeing beyond the moment. And this gets us back into the redefining energy of this Six of Wands. It's right by the luck card. So your luck is changing because you're watching this, and maybe because this is starting to get into your frame of thought. You're going to tune out the inner saboteur and the actual saboteurs in your life. You're going to remember that you can teach an old dog new tricks if you're thinking you're an old dog, or if there's people in your life that you're not sure if they'll come around. If they matter, if you matter to them, they'll come around. So just do it, like the Nike old slogan. And you've got nothing to lose, and you've got everything to gain. And stepping into your purpose. For many of you, teaching and mentoring can be part of that because we have the 10 of Pentacles. I mentioned the power of making an impact in others, so mentorship for sure. Also, like carving out a new path. This Chariot card in reverse can also be saying, I don't want to give control to you, I want to reclaim control. So entrepreneurial energy, maybe lifting up people that are underprivileged or underrepresented. Change. This is all about change. So try something different, try something new. Try something authentically you. I just made a poem. There you go. All right, let's move on to love and relationships. I might ask some specific questions later around these, so don't worry. But for now, I want to kind of go into the flow of all of this. And then we have enough to go into free flow, and I think I might do that. And I can ask some more specifics then. Okay, so love and relationships. We're looking less at romantic and more at partnerships. The insight energy is about finding people in your life that can see your potential, that can see also something that you might be excited about working on, like a project, an idea, etc. And I feel like some of you are about to meet a teacher or a mentor, because this came through. So in that respect, this could be a very exciting moment. This is also encouraging some of you to step into a phase where you really get some insights into why you're in this partnership. For this one, because I know that people like to kind of understand what's going on. Actually, you know what? We'll do partnership and we'll do wealth separate. I want to keep this in the flow of the purpose. So I'll drill into it in a moment or two. But for now, the important thing is partnerships are helping you see something. So all levels of partnerships, new love, old love, family, they're karmic relationships around teaching. When you learn the lesson, you can decide if you want to continue and if you want to go deeper. That's the big message here in relationships. Okay, let's look at destiny, and then I'll look at some more specificity on some of those. All right, for destiny, using your voice, communication is coming through. Purpose. For some of you, you are meant to write, direct, create, communicate, fix things. Like put some new narratives out there, because the old guard is stepping out. And we really need some new voices right now. We really need some new ideas. in all aspects of the world, in all structures, whether it's entertainment, fashion, government, teaching, love, whatever. Like, it's time for the next generation to step in. I feel like older generations have been clinging on, and we need to let newer voices come through. So let's communicate that. Be one of the newer voices, or share new ideas. We're not being ageist here. It could just be new ways of thinking. So let's also just change the narrative, change the voice a bit. And your voice matters, which is why this is coming through. Before I go into the bonus portion, I want to clear the table here, and I want to look a little deeper at the special topic, because it's a big special topic. And there's another deck that's been calling to me here. Okay. So specifically, what is the moment? So, by the way, now we're in the bonus portion. So thank you to everybody. Well, we're kind of entering into it. So I guess traditionally this would be the big idea, but it's going to help us lead into the bonus. What's the moment? And how do we see beyond the moment? Okay. So the moment. The Queen of Wands is the Queen of Imagination. She's intuition personified. She can think herself out of like a tight corner. And here we have a scarab beetle right over her crown chakra, which is what we're talking about today. So renewal. This is a time to hit the refresh button when it comes to what we were just talking about, like kind of beautifully aligns. So there has to be new and different ways of approaching things. And she doesn't, and I mean this in the best way, it's not that she doesn't take no for an answer, she doesn't take defeat as the final stop. She's like, this is just something that allows me to look beyond the defeat. This didn't work because of this and this, so I'm going to try this. Okay. Or that didn't work, how about this? She always thinks about what else can we do? Why did this happen? How can we fix it? Problem solving. So the moment, we're in a bit of a mess in the world, but this is about problem solving. What do I want to do? How can I address it? How can I make an impact? And it's also passion. It's also invention. It's also leadership. And we need all of that right now. Passion, ingenuity, and leadership. And if you build it, they will come. All the little scarab beetles are drawn to her. Typically, we would see, I believe, a black cat on this card too. So this is about being able to land on your feet, even if you've been challenged in the past. So the moment is saying, I have no choice but to succeed, and I'm going to do it by trying until I stick the landing, like a gymnast, right? I'm going to keep trying, and eventually it's all going to work out, and I'll understand why I got to this moment in time. So the black cat, magic, the ability to have 9 lives, the ability to land on your feet. The sunflower, leadership, leading, not following. Also, she's in a desert, but still is able to make something grow. This is, and even her crown has foliage on it, right? So you're not in a drought. Things aren't stuck. You just have to keep thinking through it. How do you meet the moment? King of Swords reversed. Action. Swift action. Not just that, but saying no, cutting out the middle person, cutting out the nonsense, and not letting everybody get into your headspace. You're going to have to figure out who you are and what you stand for and meet the moment. So this is also, I see it, but now I'm saying it, now I'm doing it, and I'm not wasting time. So an end to procrastination. Okay, now how do you step into your purpose? For each of you, your purpose is going to be a little bit different, but I'll ask how you step into it, and then I'll also ask if there's a clarifying card around the purpose. Okay. How do you step into your purpose? The Page of Pentacles. I'm not the page, it's the Prince, so the Knight. The Knight of Pentacles. I sometimes hate it when they change up the words. You have to be very present. I'm like, no, it's not the page, it's the Knight. So the Knight of Pentacles fights for what he believes in. And he keeps trying until he finds a connection. So don't give up. And that actually is emphasized with this Nine of Wands, where she's bouncing back. And this is perseverance personified, the Nine of Wands. Sometimes you're a little worse for the wear, but don't give up. So in order to sort of meet your purpose, you have to kind of like brush yourself off, try again, and know that sometimes we were talking about 9 lives. It might take 8 or 9 times for something to work, but it's the person that sticks to it that wins, quote unquote wins, that makes it to the finish line. So try again and again and again until it becomes muscle memory, until through almost like brute force you find your space. If you believe in something enough, you can make it work, but there's a little bit of a push. There's a little bit of a fight. But there's also something wonderful on the other side. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to take another drink here and we're going to go into bonus territory. As I look at the bonus stuff, I want to also just take a look and see what the options were real quick here. So if I go back to this and we quickly take a look at posts, let me see. The runner-up, it wasn't that close. We really got the main one here. Third Eye was revealing hidden truths and opportunities. So I feel like Crown Chakra probably did most of that. So the other ones we'll save for another day, because I really feel like at one point we should do the root chakra. It's a really important one. So what I'm going to do instead today is kind of look at some deeper questions that want to come through. So we'll go into the flow, and there's a couple things that I want to look at right now. I mentioned that I'll look at relationships just because I know some of you like to know what's coming through. So we're going to pull one card for those of you that are currently partnered and see what's coming through for that. All right, so if you're currently in a relationship, kind of doing this out of order, but this is for those of you in a relationship. Distance is one of the key components. You can be in the same room as someone else and feel like they're a bazillion miles away. So one of the important things right now in existing relationships is bridging the distance, being present, putting down the phone, putting down the book, turning off the television, spending time with each other. If someone in your life bristles at that, then you have someone who doesn't want a form of intimacy, which is connecting. So work on that. That's one thing that I'm picking up on. There might also be long distance relationships, and it's time to decide, are you in or you're out, or is this enough? And then also, where are we going? And it's a question. It's not me like I'm asking you to ask them, what's the next thing? What do you want? You can discuss a goal, a dream, like you're leveling up or moving on. You're either going to go to the next level and become exclusive or start a family or do something together, or you're going in this direction. So make plans together to strengthen things if you want, okay? If not entrepreneurs. If you're single and looking. Queen of Swords, reversed. Make the first move. And I can tell even with Medusa there on the sort of like satchel, that for some of you there's this fear of, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. Practice. There's a line in Pride and Prejudice where Elizabeth Bennet, she's too hard on Mr. Darcy, but she's practicing her piano and he has a hard time talking to her. She's like, well, maybe you should take the advice of your aunt and practice. Practice makes perfect. And honestly, if someone's going to make fun of you for trying to start a conversation, they're not the right match. So you can just start with a, hey, how you doing? And either they're interested or they're not, and that's going to be enough. Like, it just starts with a hello. So make the first move, try to catch someone's attention, initiate the interest and the communication. If they say no, they say no. No is no, but you never know until you try, okay? So don't be afraid to make the first move, and don't be overly critical about yourself also, okay? If you're single and happy, let's see if there's a message here. Well, you are single and happy, but you also might be pulling a new friendship. And I was talking about the sort of Buddhist detachment energy. When you don't care, when you're not focusing on it, you're naturally going to probably have more people interested in you. So, like it or not, there could be new friends, new alliances, new connections that want to come into your energy, including love. But at the very least, this is a great time to spend time with friends that you love and doing things that you like, because you can also utilize this attractive energy to bring projects, goals, and ambition one step further. Now let's go much deeper. I just had a feeling people want to see that. When I don't include it, they get angry. I'm not going to do it with business right now. What I'll do for business in general, for money, is I'll just say, is there one general message around bringing in more abundance? Yes. So for all levels of people dealing with money and success, what do you want? The Seven of Cups it can be a dreaming card, but if you don't know what you're looking for, Spirit has a hard time delivering. It's also encouraging you to go back to the drawing board and dream a little bit. Not to the point of paralysis, which can happen with the Seven of Cups, but at least to the point of thinking, have I considered everything? Why am I not trying this? Like, kind of a playful daydreaming card. This person is literally looking at the sky as the limit. This woman is reaching to the stars. And it's kind of like what I saw on my ceiling when I was waking up. I saw little twinkling stars. So reach for the stars. Why not? Allow yourself to dream. If someone told you you can't, you'll never, you won't, think to yourself, that's your opinion. That's not mine. Why not? What do you need to focus on right now that you're not focusing on? What are you missing? Okay. Sometimes just because we don't want to deal with it, we sweep pain beneath the rug. With respect to that, emotions come through to help us see things. And pain, discomfort, frustration, anger, jealousy, all of them. They come through to help us see what we don't need, see what we need to focus on, and also sometimes separate ourselves from something that's no longer enough. So if something hurts, just like you would put a Band-Aid on it, or you would sterilize it, or you would stitch it up, you need to heal whatever is broken. So have a good cry, feel the feelings, talk to someone about it, and then let it go. Sometimes you have to get to a point where you're like, I don't want this or need this, and then you wave goodbye, and it hurts a little bit, but the healing begins. It's like pulling the Band-Aid off afterwards. It needs to air out. There needs to be some healing. So don't ignore the pain, but find a way to cope with and get support as you deal with the pain, because this too shall pass. Okay, next. What opportunity is knocking? What's right around the corner and ripe for the picking, but you might not see it? Oh, okay. So we have the Six of Pentacles. And with the Six of Pentacles, it's saying, if you just pull back a little bit and use your time and energy more wisely, you'll have more than you think. And when you make time for yourself, then you can also start to tune in and identify some things that you would have otherwise missed because you were working too hard. Do less, but do it better. Your 80% is another person's 110%. When you say no, people value you more, oddly enough. And this is also a good negotiating tactic at work. You can just tell them, we can't do this unless I can focus on this and I give this to them, or unless I get paid more, like I need more of something. So you start advocating for yourself just a little bit more. Be careful about, I talked earlier, this is like spilling the tea, different version of it. Be careful of who you're spending time with. Sometimes those people, again, might be taking more than they need to, or might not be as trustworthy as you'd like. we don't really want gossip. And this card, it's only this illustration of it, does carry with it just a little bit of a gossipy vibe, so be mindful of that. So Spirit is asking me to ask the cards, what's your hidden talent? What's your superpower? Because this is going to help you get through some, maybe throw some of the blocks, or just kind of help you surprise yourself. So what should you be leaning into? Oh wow, here we go with the Five of Swords again. Okay, so your superpower is your ability to let it slide, let it go. And I'm getting better at it, but it's hard, and I'm sure many of you have your moments, right? But if someone's trying to poke the bear a little bit and get you to react, you can just smile and walk away. You actually don't have to give it any more bandwidth. And just say, well, I got some other things to other things to focus on. I'll talk to you later. And also, you don't have to answer the phone. If there's someone in your life that complains or criticizes or prods and it's not constructive, leave them on unread, right? You don't have to read the messages. You don't have to pick up the phone. You can say no to the invite because you're protecting your energy. It's a weird message. It's a weird way to convey your superpower, but your superpower is your ability to not waste your energy on the little things, on the naysayers. It's discernment, it's saying no, it's learning not to care. It does happen at a certain point, because I think to myself, if you can't support me, I'm not invested anymore. So it doesn't matter if you don't like me, it doesn't matter if you think negatively of me, because I don't regard you that highly, so it's easy. So you can recontextualize some of this and just think, so be it. There was, when the song first came out, Titanium by Sia, I was in a not so great working situation, including also some friendships that were toxic and everything. So I remember on my lunch break, I would listen to Titanium and imagine kind of think of Wonder Woman, where she had those magical braces on her wrists where she could kind of push things back. I would imagine that I was titanium, or I had those magical things that could she could stop a bullet with her bracelets, right? I don't know what they were called. But imagine that was entirely over your body, that you had a titanium shield that would help you. And I thought to myself, all of this negativity, it's not going to get through. It doesn't, your comments, your actions, they're not going to penetrate my protective barrier. So I would listen to the song and imagine that I had a titanium shield around me. It worked actually on some levels, because if you can believe it, if you start to create that sense of protection, then it will exist. So find your inner titanium and know that you're going to be okay. All right? Because sometimes we need to, you try to let it go, but it's it's still there. So you can do that, and it's not going to even get through to me. I'm going to stop it at the source. Okay. We're almost done here. We're going to do 3 more cards and then wrap it. Past, present, and future energy right here, right now. What do you need to know? It's all good stuff. Okay, so we have Page of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, the Star. When you put it down into writing, speak it into existence, or just make the commitment, not just the I do, but the I am, then you're really starting to line yourself up for success. You deserve to be happy. For many of you, there is a potential contract, job opportunity, or just moment of acceptance in the future here with the Ten of Pentacles. What we see in this one is love, safety, protection. You deserve that. Many of you are working for that. This is a great week to get work done, but it all hinges on this, the Star card. Leaning into purpose, leaning into authenticity, shining brightly. The last thing I saw before I woke up was the stars in my ceiling, even though they're not here. That's what I saw. I was like, oh, beyond the beyond. It's really important for you to see and believe that you can do it, and that is going to help bring it into existence. Let's take a couple moments now to meditate, and then we will take a look at a final question. All right, so for the meditation today, we're going to work with the stars. Taking a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, release your shoulders, your neck, your back. You can roll the shoulders forward and backwards a few times. Slowly, gently move your neck from side to side, forward and backward, gently working out any kinks that might exist there. Imagining that it's a warm summer night, that you're laying in a hammock, looking up at the stars, even seeing a few fireflies as you watch the stars twinkle above. And as you are tuning into the sort of endless, boundless universe above, I'd like you to let go of anything in your life that constitutes a doubt, a limit, or a tether. Let it sink into the ground beneath you. Let the trees beside you absorb that. And because you're in this hammock, feel in this moment that you are free. Almost that you could fly up and touch the stars above you. And in your mind's eye, maybe imagine that you are reaching towards one of those distant lights, connecting to that cosmic purpose that you had when you came into this planet that got lost in the shuffle, reclaiming your power, your light, your wisdom, and telling yourself, I am doing this. It is happening. And imagining whatever that is, that it's getting one step, one breath closer. Take a couple of deep breaths on your own, and on the next natural exhale, I'd like you to focus on something that you need some clarity on. It can be anything. Okay, so once again, 10 of Pentacles. So if you asked a yes or no, it's a yes. Interesting thing, we've gotten this card no less than 3 or 4 times in different areas, and upright, reversed, etc. 10 of Pentacles represents abundance, of course. We have a gigantic pentacle in the background, the tree of life on top of that, and then pentacles all around. So there should be more than enough, and you are more than enough. And that can and should be your mantra this week. I am more than enough. In relationships, in job, and in life. It's a commitment card. So there might be something in your life where you just need to know where you're standing, and it's an important time to get that clarity. It's a stability card. Take time this week to plant your feet on the ground and believe in yourself. Make something more concrete. That was the daily reading. Tell yourself, this matters, I'm doing it, I'm going to allow this to solidify. And this can represent something that can stand the test of time, just like the concrete message that I got. And that, my friends, was today's reading, which was powerful. I'm glad we were able to make it through without interruptions. I decided to just use my hotspot today because the internet here is kind of wonky. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe. You can also sign up for a newsletter on my website. Like I said, from my website, you can follow me across social media, book a reading if you'd like, give back with PayPal if you'd like, and of course, right here on YouTube, you can show support with super stickers, super chat, and through memberships. With that being said, let's take a couple of moments to just celebrate that we got through the reading. We got all the messages coming through. I'd like to also give some thanks and gratitude to everybody just for showing up. But additionally, for those that gave back a little bit, I'd like to give some shout outs. So let's do it. Okay. So give me a moment here to take a look at everybody that gave back. All right, so starting at the beginning here, I'm glad you enjoyed the topic. Thank you to Colette for being a member and for your sticker. Alice, thank you so much for being a member and for your sticker. And same thing to Casey in Bloom. Lynn, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships, and welcome to everybody that got that membership. And same thing, and by the way, Lynn, thank you, or S. Lynn, for being a member for a long time. I see all of those little points on the crown. Andrea Williams, thank you for gifting 5 memberships as well, and also for being a member. Jamie, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for your membership and for the shout out. And Walk, I'm also happy that you're here. Thank you for being a member and for the comment. Marianne, thank you for being a member and for your kind comment as well. Kathy Smith, thanks for your membership and for the shout out. I think today was fun and informative, so I hope you enjoyed it. Rob, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for the very generous sticker and for being a longtime supporter. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Iced Shaken Espresso. That sounds like something that I want right now. Thank you so much for your sticker and membership. Yolanda, thank you very much for your sticker. Colette, thank you for your sticker and membership. Kayla Rogers, thanks for your sticker and membership. Lauren, thank you so much for your sticker. Corey, thanks for your sticker. And thank you for your 5th super on a live stream. Jamie, thank you so much for being a member for a long time and also for your sticker. Welcome to a new member here, Melanie Morris. Good to see you. Anne Walk, thank you so much for, again, multiple stickers and contributions. Thank you for the 7 of Pentacles message too. I appreciate that resonated. Colette, thank you for the multiple stickers today and the membership. Cheryl, good to see you. Thank you for being a member and for your support. I'm sorry, for your sticker rather, and for your support. Shelly, thank you for the member and sticker. Let's see. Gigi, thank you for being a new member and for the kind words and for the sticker. Let's see. Atrinae. Don't know how to say that, but thank you so much for all of your contributions today, for being for the sticker and just for talking a lot today. I appreciate it. Teresa, thank you so much for your sticker and comment. I appreciate it, and for membership. Teresa, thank you very much. I'm glad that you got the insight that you needed today. I agree, me too. So let's see. Furry friends, thank you so much for your comment. Much appreciated. Also for becoming a member right after that. So thank you very much. Colette, thank you for your sticker and membership. Georgia, thank you for your multiple stickers and membership. Alice, thank you again for the multiple contributions today. Colette, thank you for your sticker membership and multiple contributions. Tahoe, you just reached 60 months, and look at that cute little gem at the center of that. 7 years. Wow. That's a lot. And I know that you said is another name. So thank you for, what is that, 9 years of sticking with me. I really appreciate it. You've been with me through all of the different moves. That means a lot. Colette, thank you again. Georgia, thank you again. Teresa, thank you for the sticker and membership. Tahoe, thank you for helping us meet the goal today and for the sticker and membership. Lorna, thank you for the long time membership and for the sticker. And Walk, thanks again. Jamie, thank you again for the sticker and membership. Story. Scene, thank you for the sticker and membership. And let's see, we've got a little rainbow here from Handangul, Taksamika. Sharon, thank you very much. And Casey, thank you for gifting a membership. And Walk, thank you for gifting a membership. And Squish, thank you for your sticker and membership. And I think I said thank you to everybody. Thank you to Dakota for helping us moderate today. We have one more reading next weekend here at this hotel. And then the next one, if spirits allow, will be on the other side of the Atlantic. But it depends on some paperwork for Apollo. So if not, then I'm delayed by a month, but hopefully, fingers crossed, all goes well. All right, I'll see you same time, same place next week. Take care of yourselves. Wishing you all the best, and also just a very prosperous week ahead. Remember, you make your own luck, folks. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.